UPK shit, man. One West. Hey. I'm a UPK nigga, I'm stuck in my ways. That's on them, letting cowards fill up they ranks. Goddamn, lost tribes got them following waves. Loyalty a lifestyle, nigga, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm a saint, no New Orleans, it's going up. Next spot, we at the B&B. I'm turned up, I pull up in the SRT. Burning rubber, hey, UPK shit. Look, met her at the club, told her pull up to the lobby. She know I'm in the coat, we're all black, no Illuminati. This my other half shit, I can't move without it. These my motherfucking brothers, yeah, what I'm gonna do without them, yeah. If it's beef, I can't wait to sink my teeth in. Niggas going overboard, they off the deep end. Why you tripping off that hoe? That's some weak shit. Told him put me in the game cause I love defense. Yeah, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Yeah, bounce or let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog, and she say she find me interesting. Yeah, want me to call, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Hey, bounce or let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog, and she say she find me interesting. Yeah, want me to call, I ain't gotta settle, I got options, ma. No, I stand on business, my name not Tazar. I'll pop you with this pocket rock. Feed a nigga shells like a taco truck. Hey, this bitch got sound effects, it go pew pew pew. I ain't tripping on no drink, got bottles in the room. I'm in Durham, North Carolina, bitch, it's 12 a.m. Look at them, they ain't us and we ain't them. I told them put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Ay, bounce or let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog, she say she find me interesting. Yeah, want me to call, put me in the game, coach. Fuck you thought, he let his colors fly. He ain't cut, we cut him off. Ay, bounce or let my fringes swing. Yeah, I'm a dog, she say she find me interesting. Want me to call, yeah, yeah. UPK shit, man, you already know what it is. It's the 55th annual Passover, man. Turn up. We gonna do this shit the UPK way, not the other way. You hear me? Yeah.
All right. Shalom, Israel. You live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Priest and Captain Soccer War coming to y'all live from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday. That's the address to the school in Salakia. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have classes from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. In Memphis is 3,000 Suite 215. Again, 3,000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. The calling number to the school is 901 900 in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding area in contact with the ISUPK. Since 1969, the Israelite School of Universal College has been the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The Hispanics and Native people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2024, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on the earth. With that being said, we like to start these classes off. We like to give brothers and sisters an opportunity with these classes to go into this book called the Bible, to gain the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Most High has placed therein in order to facilitate us coming back to being the people that the Most High called us to be and reclaiming our righteous place on the earth as kings, priests, prophets, princesses, and daughters of Zion. With that being said, I'd like to start the class off with questions. If there's any brothers or sisters in the classroom that have any questions, all you have to do is raise your hand. If there's brothers or sisters online that have questions, all you have to do is type them in. If you don't have any questions, we're going to go directly into the topic of tonight's class, which is sexual deviancy and selling your soul. All right. Tonight's class is going to be about sexual deviancy and selling your soul. We are living in a time where the Bible more and more every day is beginning to be made manifest, meaning it's being shown that the topics and the societal ills and the actions of people that were spoken of in this book called the Bible are the same actions and the same societal ills that are plaguing us in this world today. For many years growing up, I remember people who were in church or people who were against, organized religion or against God. They would say things like the Bible was an old, outdated book. The Bible was something that was written long ago and it fit for the time that those people were living in, but it didn't fit for the world that we're living in now. And growing up in Christianity, growing up in religion, some of those points that people were making made sense when it came to the church and the way the church introduced us to the concept of God and the concept of faith and belief and having values and morals. But as I grew into a man and I began to read the Bible for myself, and when I came into the truth, I quickly learned that what we are taught and what we are given in religion has nothing to do with what is actually recorded and written down in this book called the Bible. And it wasn't until I came into the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana that I was able to really begin to understand the perspective of the authors of the Bible and the people who these words were recorded by and their uh, position in life as it pertained to being on the side of God versus being on the side of the people in the world or the people who didn't have religion or who didn't serve God. The Bible is a book that is written by the men who, in every generation that they lived in, were ostracized and outcast and stood on the outside of society, warning the people about why their world or why their way of life was doomed to fail or destined to, not work out for them because it was in rebellion to God. And so when we look into society today and we look at all of the different philosophies and the ideologies that's being pushed on people, the various methods of programming that is being given to people to skew their way of thinking or to skew their perspective on the world, it's absolutely the same as what was going on during the times that men uh, who recorded these records, recorded this Bible. Like the people who recorded the Bible lived in a time where in their society, in the world they lived in, there was someone at the top who was teaching the people that this is the way. This is how you be successful. This is how you live a good life. This is how you feel your destiny and your purpose in the world. And those men who stood on the side of God were looking out at the society and saying, man, the people that's leading y'all going to destroy y'all. They lying to you. They're manipulating you. They're getting you to live according to their will, rejecting the will of God. The way that you're being taught to live and the way that they're showing you is going to lead to success and lead to you feeling good, it's a lie. It's against the nature of what you were created for. And in every generation where those men stood on the side of God, the people say, man, y'all niggas crazy. Ain't nobody trying to hear what y'all talking about. Y'all niggas are losers. Well, it's no different than the time we're living in now. In 2024, there are men who are standing on the side of God. And to stand on the side of God means you stand with something that is greater than yourself. The beautiful thing about being in the truth is the words that we speak out of this book called the Bible, we did not write them. These principles and these laws and these this way of life that we stand on, none of us can take credit for it and say, yeah, man, that's something I came up with, or my life experience has taught me that this is the way. Nah, all of us who stand on the side of God stand on the side of something that predates us. That's great. It was here before we were here, and it'll be here after we're gone. And we're saying to the people of the world, the people of this society, the way that you have been shown to live life, the things that you have been shown to accept and to uh, uh, use to propel yourself forward, that is the way to destruction. That is the way to die. That is the way to continue suffering and being in the being in a miserable condition, a miserable state. But the world is trying to teach you, don't listen to those men of God. This is the way. This is the path. This is how you're going to live a good life. This is how you're going to get the most out of life. You got to get money. You got to get sex. You got to party. You got to do it big. You got to be that person. And that is how you're going to fulfill all the things that you desire in life. When that is a lie. That is the trick. That is the game. The game is that what you're seeing on the TV, what you're seeing on the internet, what you're seeing on TikTok, that the people who you're watching at the top, that they are what success looks like. They are living the life of someone who's made it. They are the ones who you should pattern yourself after and try to be like them. When in reality, they are the most miserable and the most suffering and the most twisted of all of us. Their lives at the top, they are suffering worse than those of you who are poor and at the bottom. And the only way to avoid the suffering and the misery is to stand on the side of God. Learn what it is that God said for you to do to truly fulfill your purpose in life. Learn what it is that God said to do in order to deliver yourself from the misery, to deliver yourself from the pain, to escape the trauma of of this life that you've lived. And so the same fight that we're in today is the same fight that men have always been in on the earth. And the same way that though the men of these times in this book looked out in their society and saw evil and saw wickedness, we're seeing these same exact things. The evil and the wickedness of today's earth is no different than the evil and the wickedness of the earth 6,000 years ago. There is no new perversion on the earth. There is no new sickness. There is no new societal ill. The same thing that has plagued society for thousands of years is what is plaguing society today. And so today's class is going to be about sexual deviancy and selling your soul. Because what is the one thing that those who are at the top with the power and with the money and with the influence have always used to reel in the masses of people is sexual deviancy. It is the one common thread throughout all the generations of people on the earth. Sex is the way to completely entrap and dominate someone, to bend someone to your will. If you can get someone to give you their body, then you can take control of everything else in their life. Everybody understands. What prompted me to want to teach this class is on the backbone of the whole Puff Daddy scandal and the whole Puff Daddy saga and all of the what's the word they're looking for? All the allegations being made about Puff Daddy and these sex parties and all of his infidelities with men and with women and video recordings of people having sex in different rooms at his parties and all of this stuff. There's a lot of conversation being had about famous people, rappers, and Meek Mill and different people who is like, damn, I can't believe that this person would be doing these things at these parties. I can't believe that this person would be gay, or I can't believe that this person would fall for that. And it just goes to show that there's largely a naive ignorance that people pretend to have when it comes to understanding what it takes for certain people to get into the positions that they're in this world. Like, we all know that in order to make it big, you have to sacrifice something. You have to give up pieces of yourself. And it's been in the music and the entertainment, um, the people who we look up to in society, the voices of the generation, so to speak. You listen to their music, you listen to the words that they speak, you watch the movies and listen to the dialogue of certain characters. It's never been hidden from the masses what it actually takes to make it in this world. People at the top have never been shy about actually saying or showing you who they really are and what they're really about. A lot of the times we just don't want to really accept what it is that they're showing us because it's a lot easier to dream about being someone at the top than to actually think about all of the sacrifices and uh the selling of your soul that it takes to get into those positions. You understand? Um, and so I watched the show this past week. Watched the first episode of a show called the Jared Carmichael Show. Right? Jared Carmichael is an act. He's a comedian, black comedian, and he's an actor. And he's a guy who I've heard of him, but I don't really know him because he's not someone who's funny. He's not someone who's entertaining. He's not somebody who you ever see a comedy special and be like, oh yeah, man, that Jared Carmichael, he's funny. Like he's not a Cat Williams or a Bernac or a Eddie Griffin. It's another regular guy. Years ago, Gentleman Hyman taught a class, and I believe this was before Lil Nas X came out as being a gay rapper from the whole I want to take my horse to the old town road. I'm going to ride till I can't no more. That whole country song, that black dude that made that country song, before he came out as being gay, John Hyman had taught a class and said that we were going to see a time where entertainers and actors and people who wanted to be celebrated and accepted in Hollywood or celebrated and accepted in entertainment would start to come out as gay and would start to promote being members of the LGBT community in order to prop up their careers, in order to help them be rich and be famous and to gain acceptance by the powers that be. And this was before Lil Nas X. So when Lil Nas X hit, it was like, man, that's wild. Then you had the 6ix9ine cat with the rainbow hair. And it was like, yo, that's crazy. Then you had, since then there's been a plethora of people who have come out as being gay and LGBTQ. And you've seen how they have been promoted and how they have skyrocketed to the forefront of entertainment. Hell, you look at the black women with all of the exhibitionism, all of the whoredom, all of the I'm a slut and I'm a freak and I'm a hoe, and how they're being propped up to the front of, hip hop and entertainment and things like that. All of this is not a coincidence. It's a planned, plotted, and strategized effort to push to the masses of the people that this way of life is acceptable. That embracing this deviancy is the way that the world is supposed to be. It's the way to live a happy, wonderful, and all-inclusive society. That rebellion that's being pushed in entertainment, it's no different than what was being pushed in Sodom and Gomorrah. It's no different than what was being pushed in Rome during the days of our King Yahushua Mashiach, who the world calls Jesus Christ. And so seeing that we are being faced with it now, how do we deal with it? How do we combat it? How should we be thinking and looking at all of these changes in societal norms and standards of what's acceptable? I said all that to say the Jared Carmichael show is blatantly and obviously a case of that. A man who wants to be an entertainer, wants to be an actor, wants to be a comedian, but actually doesn't have any real talent. He just comes out and says I'm gay. Jared Carmichael, I remember he was on Saturday Night Live, I think, a few years ago. He came out and said he was gay. And him coming out as being gay was like, oh yeah, Jared Carmichael said he was gay. And then you didn't really hear nothing else about it. At least it wasn't on my radar. But it was like, yeah, Jared Carmichael from SNL said he's gay. Then you turn around and he got a big comedy special on HBO. The comedy special numbers did good, and he won an Emmy Award for it. Then later on, find out he got a show on HBO called The Jared Carmichael Show. So all of that background is the reason why I went and tuned into the show. Let me see what this cat talking about. I watched the half an hour or 37-minute entry episode of this show. And what is being displayed and what is being put out there for everybody to digest and for everybody to soak up is what goes on in the life of a homosexual. This cat is he's a gay black man in Hollywood, and the episode centers around him having anxiety and feeling down about a friendship that he lost with someone who he's been friends with in entertainment for years, that he came out and expressed his feelings towards a year ago. So the whole episode, part of the episode, is this turmoil that he's in because this guy who he's been friends with, he told him how he felt about him a year ago. The guy dismissed him and he hasn't really talked to him for a year, but now the Emmys is coming up and he wants to go out. He wants to take this guy. He wants the guy to go with him to the Emmys. So he sends him he's struggling over, how do I talk to him? How do I, present to him that I want to take him on a date, that I want to, I want to rekindle our friendship or get some kind of response to my love request that I made a year ago. It's a whole thing. The clip from the show that went viral was with him and the guy who's a rapper named Tyler, the Creator, where they're sitting down and they're having dinner, and the dude is trying to have the talk with him of like, I told you a year ago I had feelings for you, and then you just kind of dismissed me, like, what's up? And the dude, like most men would do, is like nigga, that shit was weird. Like, what did you want me to say to that? Like, I don't look at you like that. Like, what you thought I was gonna get with you or something? Like, it's a whole thing that happens in the episode. And as I sat there and I watched the episode and I got to the end of it, all I could think to myself was, this show is about programming people to be okay living this kind of way. And throughout the show, throughout the episode, like, this is a person who clearly is unstable. This is someone who clearly has no governor over their emotional state. They suffer from anxiety, suffer from bipolar disorder. Like, this is someone who is suffering. This is someone who is in pain. This is not a normal, happy, living their best life person. But that's what's being projected to the people, is that this way of life is okay. It's okay to live confused and unstable and like all of these things that are completely unhealthy. But if you aren't equipped with this, if you aren't equipped with the knowledge of what normal looks like, and if you don't have any basis of any foundation of right and wrong, then you may watch the Jared Carmichael show and think, oh yeah, that seems like a pretty normal life to me. When what the Jared Carmichael show is actually putting on display is what happens to someone who sells their soul. It's what happens to someone who chooses rebellion against God in exchange for riches. And that is what lies at the core of all sexual deviancy and selling of your soul. So that's what we're going to go into tonight. This may end up being more than just this class that I teach, because there's so many different aspects of this topic that the Bible covers and that needs to be discussed. But tonight I want to just strictly focus on what lies at the root of sexual deviancy and why that equates to selling your soul. All right. So I wanted to present why I wanted to teach the class, what it was about, and then what we're going to focus on for tonight's class, so that everybody would have a frame of reference going forward with some of the stuff that we're going to cover tonight. Everybody understands. All right. So with that being said, first scripture we're going to go to is Matthew chapter 16, verse 26. Matthew chapter 16, verse 26. All right. Get to it. All right, this is Matthew chapter 16, verse 26. All right. Matthew 16 and 26 says, "For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?" Everybody understands. What is being sold or given away when someone sells their soul? What is it that you are sacrificing or offering to to whoever or whomever it is that is giving you the opportunity to profit? You look at entertainers and you look at you look at entertainment and you hear about the Illuminati and these what they call them, secret societies and these organizations where you got to sacrifice somebody or in order to be able to, you know, get ahead in Hollywood or get ahead in entertainment. What are the people who are in those positions actually giving up? Now, sometimes you may hear about people actually sacrificing to loved ones. You hear about Kanye West, sacrificed his mother, or I don't know who some other people that they say was sacrificed. You hear about those, right? Those aren't always. You could let's say you could believe that if you want to, but it's not about killing someone off or losing the life of someone you love in order to be rich and to be famous. When people talk about selling their soul, that the classic example of selling your soul is you making a contract with the devil, right? There's some man in some dark room who says, Sister Shawba said Jennifer Hudson's nephew. Jennifer Hudson sacrificed her nephew. Hell, Queen Latifah's brother got killed in a car accident. Aaliyah died in a plane crash. It's a lot of different examples of people who they say they sacrifice someone in order to get ahead, right? But the classic example of someone selling their soul is someone offers you a contract or offers you a deal where you're going to get rich and be famous and have this wonderful life. And in exchange for it, you have to sign over your soul. Well, your soul is what controls your body. Your soul is what gives you life. Your soul is what dictates and determines your actions, the things that you do. Selling over your soul is giving control of your actions to someone else. It's putting someone else in charge of where you go, how you dress, what you speak, what events you attend, what things you promote. That's selling your soul. Selling your soul is giving over control of your body to someone who's offering you riches and wealth and the other things that come along with that. Christ is asking, for what is a man profited if he shall gain the world and lose his own soul? How do you benefit from gaining riches, gaining wealth, gaining fame and fortune if you aren't in control of your actions? If you're bound to someone else to give you approval for what you can do, where you can go, who you can have sex with, who you can be in love with, what you can promote, then what did you gain? What did you even get for being rich and wealthy and all? You're not even in control of yourself. So yeah, you got all this money, you got all this wealth, but someone else tells you what to do. That's crazy. What do you profit yourself? Keep reading. Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? What do you give to someone in exchange for your soul? What does the person who is purchasing your soul have to gain from you selling it? You want to be rich? You want to be famous? You want to be a big time actor? You want to be a big time rapper? Well, what do you have to give me so that I'll make you rich? What do you have to give me so that I'll make you wealthy? The answer is there's only one answer. You have your body to give. And the person who has the ability to offer you the world, what do you think they're going to do with your body if you give it to them? That's what the casting couch is about. That's what, making your way in Hollywood is all about. It's about the people who are in the positions of power and authority abusing your body in order to give you the riches and the wealth and the fame that you so desperately desire. That's what is at the root of sexual deviancy. That is what is at the root of the LGBTQ, the whoredom of our women, the homosexuality of our men. It is someone else being in control of your body. You understand? And for the people who are at the top, who have the riches and the wealth, that is the one thing that they cannot have unless you give it to them willingly. Homosexual men don't want someone who doesn't want to get. Okay, how can I put this? A man who is a homosexual, right? A Catholic priest, rapist, an uncle who molests a child in the family. Oftentimes, those relationships are not physically okay. I'm not gonna use those examples because I don't want to diminish the selling of your soul part. These people who are at the top, right? The Puff Daddies, the Harvey Weinsteins, the Bill Cosbys, the R. Kellys. No one has ever accused them of aggressively, angrily raping anyone. The sexual deviancy or the sexual uh, lust that they have is not one of taking sex by force. It is one of you giving the sex up willingly in order for them to give you access to what they have. And that's about power. That's about getting you to make the decision that you are going to go against everything that you hold dear, everything that you know is right, everything that you know uh makes you in order to get this money, in order to get this job, in order to get this fame and get this fortune. You want to be rich, you want to be a big time rapper? All right. Well, you got to get on your knees and put this penis in your mouth. I've never met a man in my life who that's an option for them. That's a choice. That's something they ever consciously said in their mind. You know what, man? In order for me to be rich and famous, man, I'll suck a dick. I've never heard a man say that in my life. I've I've never known anyone that was so poor and so broke. I've known niggas that robbed, steal, sold dope, but I've never known any of them to be like, yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I suck a dick to get out of this hood. I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been over and grabbed my ankles, man. Let a man go inside of me if it meant that I was able to get out this hood. So for the people who have the money and have the influence and can make you a big time rapper, can make you an actor, when they present with you, oh, you want to be famous, you want to be up here with us, you gotta get on your knees and put a penis in your mouth. The initial reaction of that person who's being told that is, I kill you. I ain't finna. You want to do what? You got me like it's a visceral violation of your humanity for someone to offer you money in exchange for your body. That's what they want. They want you. They want to say the thing that is outrageous and then watch you inside of yourself consider it. The demon that wants you to sell your soul wants to feed on the fight that you have inside of yourself to rebel against God. And that is what lies at the core of all sexual deviancy, is something inside of you is telling you to rebel against God. This goes for anyone. I don't care if you were someone who was molested, someone who was raped as a child, someone who endured a horrible, horrific childhood, and your introduction to sex was just completely uh, evil. Regardless of your life and your trauma, there was a time where you thought to yourself, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be a whore. I don't want to have sex with random men because, talking to me makes me feel good. I don't want to have sex with random men because I need their attention. I don't want to, have sex with a man in order to, pay my rent, because I shouldn't have to give my body up in order to be able to live. If you were someone who was a man who was molested by a man and you grew up and became a homosexual, regardless of what you've the programming that you've given yourself in order to be able to accept that way of life, there's something inside of you that violently wants to reject being a homosexual. There's something inside of you that is fighting with you every day to not continue to live this life. And the thing inside of you that is refusing to allow you to stop, that is what has control of your soul. Losing your soul feels like not wanting to do something, but you're powerless to stop. And that is what the people at the top of this society, that's what they live off of. That's what gives them energy. That's what actually puts them in the positions that they're in. Is the demon inside of them feeds off of the demon that's inside of the people who they are able to get to sell their soul. Selling your soul is giving over control of your body. And in this society, in the world, in every society that's ever existed on the earth, if you give your body to someone, they're going to violate it and use it sexually. Selling your soul and sexual deviancy go hand in hand. You may think selling your soul is, selling out black people. think of all the sellouts that we've ever known. Martin Luther King, sellout. Go look at the first drug dealers, the big time dope dealers, Nicky Barnes and what's the cat name? Frank Lucas. And I'm from DC. There was a drug dealer, famous drug dealer from DC named what's that cat's name? Man, where you go? Who was the drug dealer? I don't know why I'm thinking Rafer Alston. Rafer Alston was the basketball player from &1. There's this big time drug dealer from DC, the most famous dope dealer during the height of the crack epidemic in Washington, D.C. He was a homosexual, a flamboyantly out, super gay. He had trannies in the 80s, transsexual women in the 80s. this drug dealer from D.C. And it was known that this cat liked gay men. He liked men that put on wigs and dressed up like women. There is no soul that doesn't come along with sexual deviancy. Martin Luther King sold black people out. Oh, but he loved them some nasty prostitute white women. They got tapes of him with JFK. The FBI had tapes of Martin Luther King high on drugs and in hotel rooms with white women telling them, I'm effing you for God tonight. I am not a nigga tonight because I am in the white vagina of the white heavenly vagina. You cannot be a sellout and escape sexual deviancy. Look at your Puff Daddies and your Will Smith and your TD Jakes and all of these different sellouts over the years. Sexual deviancy goes hand in hand with selling your soul. And that is what sexual deviancy is about. Sexual deviancy is about something inside of you giving control of your body over to someone else against your will. And that is why it's so hard for homosexuals to recover, for whores to recover, for children who have been abused and molested and raped to recover. Because the amount of mental and spiritual work that you have to do to fight with that thing inside of you that has control of giving your body over to someone else, I don't know any fight that's greater than that. And what goes hand in hand with selling your soul and the sexual deviancy that comes along with it is all of the ways that you try to cope with not being in control, which is selling your soul further and giving yourself further over to the demon of sexual deviancy. What do victims of rape and molestation and childhood trauma often do to cope with what they've experienced as children? They drink all the time. They're alcoholics. They give themselves over to alcoholism. They take all the drugs in the world. They are the ones who smoking the weed, popping the mollies, popping the Xanax and the Oxycontin. They are the ones who are smoking the meth and who are shooting the heroin. They are the people who are in the most pain because they don't have control over their body. Their soul has been given over to another. Everybody understands? That is why these parties that Puff Daddy has and these parties that exist in Hollywood and these rooms with these doors that everybody is going into and you don't want to go in that room, what's in that room? They're snorting cocaine in that room. They're shooting up heroin in that room. There's all the liquor you could imagine in that room. There's all the pills and the everything to make you feel good, to take you out of control of take you out of your body. They are present at the place where you sell your soul, because how do you give your body over to someone else unless you have some way to cope and deal with it? Selling your soul and sexual deviancy go hand in hand, and what comes along with sexual deviancy is addiction. Because how can you live in your body knowing that you don't have control over your body, because there are things that you do with your body that you don't want to do, but you can't stop doing it? How can you live in your mind that way? You have to get high to escape it. You have to stay drunk so that you never think about it. You have to go get high so that you don't have to deal with the reality that I am living a life that I don't want to live. But I can't stop myself from living it because someone is in control of me. Who is that someone that's in control of me? The demon in my mind who continues to give my body over to others. I'm going to give you some scriptures on it. But first, let's go to Joel chapter 3, verse 3. This is I want to stick to the Hollywood and the selling of your soul so you can understand what's going on with these rappers and these entertainers and these athletes and these people who have sold their soul. This is what's happening. There is a system that's built on people selling their soul, people giving their bodies to whoever's in charge so they can get the reward that comes along with giving up their body. Joel chapter 3, verse 3, and this is the Lord speaking about the children of Israel. And they have cast lots for my people. Meaning what? They've gambled on my people. They cast lots. They're making bets. And have given a boy for an harlot. Who's giving black boys to be whores? It's your entertainment. It's your athletics. It's your athlete. Think of all the young boys that get raped and molested by their coach or some mentor in their athletic career. Think of your children pledging for fraternities. Your boy going to sign up to be give me some of them fraternities that's down here that they love so much. Who them purple niggas? Them Omegas? Oh yeah, your son want to go be an Omega. Guess what he's going to have to do? He's going to be sold for a harlot. I remember being young and being around colleges, and it was like all these Omega niggas was big, swole athletes, but why they pants off? Why they butt hanging out? Why they always, jumping down on the ground and putting their tongue out and doing all this crazy shit with their tongue and all this freaky dancing? What's that about? They've sold a boy for a harlot. The Kappas, the red niggas with the candy canes. Why they all so soft and sweet and light skinned? Even the dark skinned niggas is light skinned. I mean, nigga stand like he look in the mirror, stand in the mirror for 45 minutes to arch his eyebrows and make sure his mustache is sleek. What's up with that? They so well groomed and nail polish on their nails. Back in the day, before niggas was like super gay, the way they are now, or super out with their homosexuality, a cat used to get clear nail polish on his nails. And there's nothing against grooming yourself and being well groomed, but like these was like, you had pretty nails. I remember being young. I grew up around men, right? All my uncles were boxers. All my uncles, they were fighters by trade. That's what they did for their life, right? They fought. Niggas was boxers. So I grew up around manly men. And you weren't allowed to be weak or be soft in the family I grew up in. I tell all the time, if it wasn't for my uncles, I don't know where I would have been being raised by the women who I had in my life. But I had a lot of ways about me that was super soft as a kid. And I always been a little chubby kid. I remember I used to stand with my hands on, you stand like this when you're tired. I used to have my hands the other way. I used to stand like this. And like I had a lot of little soft ways about me. My uncle straightened that shit out early in my life. I'm talking about 6, 7 years old. What you stand like that for? What's wrong with you, man? You better fix your hands on you. Let me see your hands like that again. Watch what I do. Or, being just certain ways of softness just wasn't allowed in my family. And I'm thankful that I grew up around those kinds of men. Things like, having dirty nails. Okay, your nails can't be dirty, right? That's nasty and trifling. But a man works with his hands. You shouldn't have, soft, pretty hands. Your hands should be a little callousy, a little hard. You should look like you've been working all day or something. You just can't be soft and just, pretty all the time. You're a man. There's a lot of men who never had that in life. They never was exposed to that type of masculinity or had that type of energy. So it's easy to grow up in the world where being soft and being feminine and being pretty all the time is okay. These fraternities promote that. The Omegas and the Kappas and the Gammas and the Betas, with all them different Greek fraternities, they promote you selling your soul. They promote giving your body over to someone in order to reap the benefit of what comes along with it. Anybody that's ever known anybody that pledged for a fraternity or a sorority, you're selling your soul. While you're pledging, your body is not your control. Your body belongs to the big brothers or the big sisters or whoever's leading you through that pledging process. That's the system that trains you how to be broken, trains you how to give over control of your body in order for you to reap the reward that comes. It's systematic. The rape, the molestation, the giving up of control over your body in order to receive a reward or a benefit. That's Joel 3:3. That's your oppressor has created a system that gambles on whether or not they're going to be able to control you. Gambles on whether or not they're going to be able to use you the way that they want. Joel 3:3 says, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot. How does a boy become a whore or get sold like a prostitute gets sold? They get raped or molested, or they go into a fraternity where they get raped or molested, or they go into Hollywood where they get raped or molested, or they go to a Puff Daddy party where they get raped or molested. I don't care what age you're at. If you're a grown man, you 25 years old, you've been having sex with women for the last 7 years of your life. The day a man talks you into putting a penis in your mouth, you got molested, my nigga. The day a man talks you into putting your penis inside of his mouth, you got molested, my nigga. The day someone talks you into putting a penis inside of a man, you got molested, my nigga. There's some men get molested at 35 years old, 32. Some men go to prison, 23 years old, and get molested. You've been away from women. Not everybody who gets molested is violated sexually. A lot of sexual deviancy, a lot of sexual trauma that occurs with boys is not someone raped them anally and penetrated them. A lot of sexual, what they call it? What's the legal term for it? Not sexual predator. A lot of sexual assaults that occur with men is someone performing fellatio on them. I just watched the Nickelodeon documentary with the Drake from Drake and Josh. He's describing the first time the man who sexually violated him, molested him. He talks about waking up in the middle of a sexual assault. Well, if you're a man and you're asleep and you wake up in the middle of a sexual assault, you don't wake up in the middle of somebody penetrating you. You don't wake up with a penis in your mouth. You wake up and there's a man who's got his penis in your mouth. That is how many men are violated sexually initially. It starts off with someone trying to make you feel good. How many men been molested by women and it started with the woman going down on you? How else can a woman sexually assault a man? A woman cannot force your penis in her vagina. Your penis has to first be erect. Well, how does she erect your penis? She goes down and she puts it in her mouth. Or she pulls her breasts out and has you to kiss on her breast and suck on her breast. And that's how it happens. Most men, the way that they are sexually assaulted, it begins with them being pleasured, them being made to feel good. And then because they are being pleasured and being made to feel good, they establish a connection with, okay, well, damn, there's pleasure in this. Well, if it feels good to me, it must feel good to them. The the sexual predator reels you in by making you feel good first. Starts off by them making you feel good, then making you feel good. Then they make you feel good and they tell you, it makes me feel good to make you feel good. Do you want to see what it feels like to make someone feel good? And now you're the one with a penis in your mouth. Now you're the one being violated. You're the one being penetrated. When it didn't start out that way. That's what selling a boy for a harlot looks like. And there's a systematic, widely known and accepted process that these people go through in order to turn a boy into a whore. Everybody understand? And sold a girl for wine that they may drink. You understand? They sold the boys for harlots and sold a girl for wine. You understand? What does it mean to sell a girl for wine? It's the same as selling a boy for a harlot, right? A woman's value is far greater than what they're being sold for or what they're being used for. Everybody understands? But this society, this world that we're living in, this oppressive system that we are in, they have sold boys for harlots. A man is meant to be much more than just a piece of meat that's bought and sold and used and abused and sexualized. A woman is meant to be more than just something that gets you high, gets you drunk, makes you feel good. You're supposed to get more out of a woman than the euphoric feeling that you get from drinking alcohol. But this society has taught us that it's all about sexual pleasure. It's all about getting that climax. That's what it's all about. That's what they're doing at them Diddy parties. There's no spiritual healing at them parties. There's no in-depth, enlightenment that's happening at them parties. It's all just about sexual pleasure. It's all about your body being used against your will. And it's important that we understand it because it's not anything that's new. This is not anything that is fresh in society. These people and these spirits have been on the earth and abusing mankind for thousands of years. And what is the tool? What is the weapon we have to fight against it? It's the knowledge of God. It's the truth of God in the Bible. Keep reading. I'm going to drop that. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 33. This is in the Old Testament where Ezekiel talked about our desire to want to join our oppressor so much, our desire to want to be like these other nations and to be like these other people, we were willing to give up anything and everything to join them and to be like them. You ever wondered to yourself, how come there aren't any, who's the Asian, yo, who's the Chinese superstar rapper? Who's the, who's the Italian, best musician ever? Who's the where's the Chinese child star at? Where's the East Indian, world famous rapper singer guy? You want to know why those people don't exist? Because those people aren't selling themselves to Hollywood. The people who are selling themselves to Hollywood are you poor blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And there's a lot of white people in it too, but that's their culture. See, Caucasian culture is abuse and rape and trauma. It's how they have always lived their lives on the earth. They have a way of life and a culture that works for them. And it's absolutely a way of life and a culture that is rooted in sexual deviancy. And it works for them. But when you try to go and join them and you try to go become a part of them, you're the ones who are abused and taken advantage of and are sold and traded like meat. You understand? I talked about it. There's a reason why the whole Me Too movement. What details of anyone's sexual abuse against another group of against women or children or anything was exposed during the Me Too movement? The only cat I ever heard about was Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey was exposed for being a pedophile and dealing with little boys during the whole Me Too. But those are the only two: Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey. Can you name any other white people who were exposed during the Me Too movement? Now contrast that, right, with all the black men who were exposed during the Me Too movement. Who did the Me Too movement take down in the black community? Me Too movement put R. Kelly in jail. Me Too movement put Bill Cosby behind bars. The Me Too movement tarnished the reputation and legacy of Michael Jackson. The Me Too movement exposed the hidden, underground lifestyle of Puff Daddy, T.D. Jakes. Is that just by chance? Is that by happenstance? Why is it that anytime there's a movement to better the world and to bring clarity to abuse and all these things, all these black people get highlighted? Because you're not a part of their culture. Their way of life is not your way of life. It's accepted among Caucasians that boys are going to get molested, that little girls are going to get raped and turned into whores. Look at the Playboy Bunny Ranch. Look at all the prostitution in Vegas. That's been popular among white people for a long time. The Roman Catholic Church, that's their way of life. They accept it. It's okay. It's part of their world. But for you black people, you Hispanics and Native Indians, it is not a part of your world. So when you go into it, you are sold. You're being sold for a whore. And your daughters are being sold for wine. And you're selling your soul to become a part of these people's culture, when that being a part of their culture is rebellion against God, which is why you have the moral conflict. You're the one who's miserable and suffering and got bipolar and depression and all those things as a result of what happens to you, because it's unnatural for your spirit, for your soul to live that way. White people carry white serial killers. Jeffrey Dahmer was a regular guy that went to work every day, showed up. Hey, Jeffrey, what's up, man? And Jeffrey went home and was eating men, raping boys. Nobody knew Jeffrey Dahmer was crazy. You know when a black person is full of demons, you see it on them. We wear demons like a man puts on a dress. You know when someone's possessed by something. You know when somebody is being dominated by something that they don't have control over. You know a woman who's insecure when you see her. She's half naked in the street. She's dressed like a whore. Now, you may have a demon on you that likes that. You can't not say what's up to her. You can't not try to have sex with her because you ain't got control. But you know this is a damaged woman. This is someone who was in pain. This is someone who was hurt. Let me give her a drink. Let me smoke with her. Why? Because giving her a drink and smoking with her means she'll give me control of her body. She'll let me use her body. We know what pain and hurt looks like on someone. Because of the demons that we have that we don't have control over, we choose to ignore it. We willingly involve ourselves in the lives of people who are clearly unstable. Why would you do that? As a man, why would you choose a woman who you know she's crazy? You know she's insecure. You know she you ever heard and I've had that problem where in my life I routinely would choose broken women because there's a demon inside of me that thinks you can help her. You can make her better. She just needs somebody to understand, to be considerate, to not just call her a bitch and use her and throw her away. She just needs some love. That's a demon in me that wants me to suffer for choosing a bitch that she don't need no penis in her life. That bitch needs a therapist. She needs a doctor. She needs somebody to actually care about her. The last thing she needs is penis in her life. But all you see is, oh, she got fat ass. Oh, she pretty, man. I know she probably do this and that. That's demon. And there's a lot of brothers who suffer from that and don't know it. You want to know why every woman you choose is a whore? Or every woman you choose doesn't want to obey you or submit to you? Because you choose horrible women. You choose women who are in the midst of losing their battle with Satan every day. And you come in the picture and think, what? You're going to make her win? You're going to fight Satan for her? You can't. That woman does not need a man who's trying to put a penis inside of her. That woman needs a priest who wants to cast out the demon. And a lot of you brothers don't know the difference between the two. You should stop. And you should really get some help. We all should really get some help because there are things that we are dealing with that we don't even have the comprehension to understand why we're doing what we're doing. Everybody understands? I said all that to say, when it comes to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you see demons on people. It's not when you're in the truth for some time, it's not even a difficult thing. It ain't like Exorcist where their face is green and their head spinning around, but you see instability on somebody. You see, this sister's damaged. She's in pain. She's hurt. Yeah. You see a brother and know he's getting high every day because he's hurt. He's in pain and he doesn't know how to deal with it. He's too proud to call and get counsel. He's too proud to say, sir, I have a problem, but I know you're getting high. I smell it on you. Even though you tried to spray that spray, I still smell it on you. I see it in your eyes. Even though you put the eye drops in to make your eyes look clear, I see you're high. And I know it's because you don't have any control over yourself. You're in pain. And that thing that's causing you that pain is telling you, man, I got to get high. I got to smoke. I can't deal with it anymore. I got to have a drink. I got to go out and meet some woman. I need to feel better. I gotta have sex with somebody because that's the only way to validate that my life has meaning. That is Satan. That is a demon that has control over your body. And if you don't fight to regain control over your body, that is how you lose your soul. Everybody understand? When you go to join your oppressor, when you go to be a part of their culture and a part of their way of life, you're selling yourself to them. That's what selling your soul is. I'll do whatever you want. I'll be whoever you want me to be. Just let me join. And that, in essence, understand this too about entertainment. The job of being an actor is actually it's the process of being an actor, of portraying someone else, is the process of giving yourself over to someone else. If you ever watch documentaries about actors or about the methods that actors go through in order to be able to portray a certain character, those people practice and train in becoming someone else. How do you practice and train in becoming someone else without practicing and training on not being who you are? Like, there's a mental and a spiritual thing that happens when you commit to being someone else. Acting is not, so in today's world, we look at Hollywood and we look at these movies, and it's just entertainment. But to the people who are practicing being actors and entertainers, that thing goes back thousands of years. There have always been plays and been, presentations and stories that are acted out and reenacted, and it's never been a small thing. In ancient times, in times of the past, the people who were the actors or the people who were the storytellers, they were also like priests. They were looked at and held in high regard in villages and in societies and in civilizations. It was a very special training you had to go through in order to be the keeper of the village's histories. Scribes and Pharisees for the Bible, the men who wrote down these records, they weren't regular niggas just living their life. You had to be trained and taught and go through rigorous programming in order to be a scribe, to be someone who kept the records. That's what movies and television are today. They are the storytellers, the record keepers of society. That you can't go into that lightly. You can't go into that, I'm gonna be an actor for a few years and then what? Go back to a regular life? That's not how that works. So when you have children that you're introducing to this profession, you're introducing them to a way of life that is going to train them and teach them to lose who they are and to take on someone else, to project someone else, to be able to cry on demand or smile. To be an actor, that ain't easy. That's a spiritual undertaking. You got to go through some things in order to be this character. But yeah, we don't look at it that way because it's not presented to you that way. But going to Hollywood is it's not a small thing to be part of that culture, that world, that life. It's like joining a fraternity. Yeah. It's like it's like taking an oath of the priesthood. Once you enter into it, you can't come out of it. And that's why these people get lost in it. They get Jay-Z said in one of his rap songs, he said, "Sorry, mama, I promised it wouldn't change me, but I would have went insane had I remained the same me." Like, going into that world, you think it ain't gonna change me. I'm gonna be the same nigga I was that I always been. Right. You go insane if you go into that world and you don't change. Those bright lights and that money and that glitz and that glamour, it absolutely takes control of you and transforms you into something different. And that is selling your soul. Everybody understands? Mm-hmm. Sister Kapata's up.
So, would you say that being an actor is a sin, or it's not a sin, but it's not expedient?
Okay, being an actor is not a sin, but it's absolutely playing in a spiritual realm. Okay. Being an actor is like conjuring spirits. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? How can I act out? The guy who's coming to mind right now is Denzel Washington. Mm-hmm. Or let's not even Denzel Washington.
Jamie Foxx and Ray Charles, they did
Jamie Foxx and Ray Charles is one. How do you be Ray Charles?
He had to watch him.
You have to become. So as he's becoming Ray Charles, guess who he's not anymore? He's not Jamie Foxx. Mm-hmm. You taking on the spirit of someone else. You are. That's a spiritual thing. Yeah. For Denzel Washington to play Frank Lucas, or for him to play the character he played in Training Day, he has to become Alonzo. Yeah. He has to be this nigga who you have to become that in order for it to be portrayed properly. Think of good actors. Good actors aren't, you can tell when somebody badly acting. To be a good actor, it got to be believable that you this nigga. Mm-hmm. How do you do that? How do you become someone else? Acting is it's a spiritual thing. And I'm not making it like it's, don't think it, Spiritual, like, okay, it's spiritual. I don't know how else to explain it. You cannot pretend to be someone else unless you're actually pretending to be someone else. I think of movies like Pulp Fiction. Ving Rhames, right, is a big black buff dude. Ving Rhames also the same nigga that played Baby Boy, yeah, but what's the one when he was the tranny? Holiday Heart.
Holiday Heart. Yep.
Ving Rhames had to be Holiday Heart. How do you be that character? Yeah. Unless you dive into the spirit of this person. How do you cry on demand and do it? You have to actually feel what they feel. You're taking on the spirit of something else. And then, okay, so after that's done, then what? You go back to your regular life? You're going to be a regular person? You got to go through some serious decompression. You got to go through some serious freeing yourself of that demon. Or you already have that demon. So it's not hard to play Holiday Heart because that's you anyway. You play Pulp Fiction, Ving Rhames is a scene in Pulp Fiction. Ving Rhames is getting raped by a man in Pulp Fiction. How do you act out getting raped by a man? What does that do to you? The director come to you with the script and say, yeah, this next scene, Ving, you're going to be bent over, pants at your ankles, a ball in your mouth, and there's going to be a man raping you from the behind. How do you act that out? What do you do inside of your mind in order to escape? Everybody gonna see me getting raped in this scene. How do you act that out? What part of yourself do you have to push aside in order to say, oh, I'm about to get raped right now? It's okay. We're gonna act out. We gotta do more than one shot of this. We gotta do 5. How do you not cry? How are you even maintaining a straight face in this role right now? That's some serious spiritual twisting and contorting that you have to do in order to be an actor. And it's not something that anybody should do lightly. It's not something that anybody should just think you're going to do it and your life going to be okay. There's not going to be any ramifications of it. Why do you think why do you think so many people kill themselves? The cat that played the Joker on Batman killed himself. Heath Ledger. But he acted the hell out that Joker part. What did he have to go through in order to be able to be the Joker? What mental work what mind state, what frame of mind did he have to be in order to be the Joker? And to be convincing as it? I'm sure it tortured him. Tortured him to the point where he couldn't recover. He killed himself. These people ain't, it ain't, oh, he crazy. Hollywood make you crazy. No, Hollywood puts demons on you. Because that's what the place is. It's spiritual. Everybody understands. So when you go into that world, what do you have to offer Hollywood that they would want you? What can you give them that they would choose you to be a great actor, or choose you to be famous, or choose you to be someone that they put out on the forefront? This is what most people are offering, and this is what the Lord says about us joining ourselves into our oppressor's culture. Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 33. All right. Ezekiel 16 and 33 says, they give gifts to all whores. Meaning what? Somebody who wants gifts, they give gifts. I mean, somebody who wants a whore, they go give a whore a gift. You pay a whore, guess what? You got control of her body. A whore is in the business of selling her soul. She want that money. You give her that money, you can do whatever you want to do with her body. The price is right. Everybody understands? This is the middle of verse 33. But thou givest thy gifts to all thy lovers, and hirest them that they may come unto thee on every side for their whoredom. But for us, we're the whore that gives gifts to all of our lovers. You want to be a famous rapper? Guess what? You're gonna go into that record executive room and you're gonna spit a freestyle, nigga. Show me what you got. I remember the video of Bobby Shmurda. Bobby Shmurda, before he became famous, before he got signed, Bobby Shmurda had to convince the record executives of why they should sign him to a deal. And this black boy is in this room rapping in front of these white people, and I know he had to feel like I'm a fucking clown. I am selling myself to these white people, and guess what? I'm gonna sell myself to these white people. You go to be you got all the singing and dancing and rapping talent. You go give gifts to you go give them a free show. You go spit a freestyle. You give them a free performance, hoping just maybe they'll like me enough to give me a deal. How many black women going to Hollywood and they know they beautiful, they know they talented, but that director, you gotta come sit on this couch. Yeah, take that top off. Let me see what you're working with up under there. Come sit next to me right here. Come here. Let me show you how. Show me something. Show me what you got. She got to make a decision. Is she gonna put that penis in her mouth? She gonna take those clothes off? How badly do you want this? Do you want to be famous? You're gonna give your body over to these people, hoping maybe they'll give you a shot, hoping maybe they'll give you a chance. You give gifts to all your lovers. They ain't got the price that we are selling ourselves for ain't shit. Think of Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy done made who knows how many millions of dollars, right? But Puff Daddy was never signing his checks. There was somebody above Puff Daddy that signed his checks. So for all of the money Puff Daddy made, there was someone else who made 5 times that. And think of all the stories of people that he done robbed. And like these cats who you looking at like they the boss, they're someone else's flunky. Puff Daddy is some white man's flunky. All the tapes that the sexual acts that he did and the tapes that he made, it was someone else who Puff Daddy was doing those things to seek their approval. He was trying to impress them. Like we sell ourselves very, very short because that is the only way. You don't have any leverage trying to get into your oppressive system. What leverage do you have trying to get into the music industry? What leverage do you have trying to be a famous actor or be famous? Why would they let you be famous? Who are you? Oh, you gonna take your clothes off on camera? Okay, well, hey, OnlyFans, you can be famous. Go ahead, do your thing. Oh, you gonna put on that dress and act like a little girl? All right, yeah, come on, you can come on over here. Again, Jared Carmichael. This nigga's famous right now for nothing else but being gay, and I can't escape. I cannot not focus on this guy would not have a career at all if he was not gay. Jared Carmichael is not funny. He's never told a funny joke, but he's gay and he's black. So because of that, Hollywood can use him to poison other black people and poison other black children because this is the example of why being gay is a wonderful thing. Like I said, if you some of y'all may not be able to stomach it. I watched the first episode of the Jared Carmichael show, and what's on display in that show is absolutely the torment and the horror of the life of a homosexual man. And it's being shown. They're not lying to you in the show. You see this brother is not healthy. This is not a person who is living their best life. This is not someone who is in control of their mental or emotional faculties. This is someone who struggles with anxiety, with bipolar disorder. This is a grown-ass man who doesn't know how to send a text message because the text message that he's trying to send is to another man who he's afraid is going to reject him because that man doesn't want me like I want him. Watching the show is like looking at a 13-year-old little girl who's, she likes this boy and told the boy she liked him, but he didn't say nothing back, so she's afraid of the rejection. Right. But this is a grown-ass 30-year-old man you're looking at. But he got the spirit of a 13-year-old girl because that's what homosexuality does to you. And if no one points it out, people will watch it and think, oh, this is normal. That's how everybody's living. Yeah, he's rich and famous, but he's still, he goes through heartbreak and anxiety. He deals with rejection. Right. Nah, that ain't regular life. This nigga's living a gay life. And his show should be the reason why we all know this is an unhealthy lifestyle. But it's crazy because he only has the show because he's gay. He's not funny. He's not entertaining. He's just a gay black man And that's why he got the show. He literally sold his soul to be famous, and he didn't even have much to sell. Everybody understands? Salaki. Ezekiel 16:34. And the contrary is in thee from other women in thy whoredoms. Meaning you opposite from other whores, whereas none followeth thee to commit whoredoms, and in that thou givest a reward, and no reward is given unto thee, therefore thou art contrary. Everybody understand? This is to the Puff Daddies, and the Bill Cosbys, and the R. Kellys, and the Michael Jacksons, and all of these black athletes and entertainers and politicians and people who want to be regarded as successful in our oppressive society. You are going to sell your soul to get a piece of what they have, and in the end, you'll have nothing. So you will have given all of your talent, all of your skills, all of your abilities to make these folks rich, and in the end, you'll have nothing. In the end, what did Michael Jackson have for all of his singing and dancing? He died a drug addict, overdose. In the end, what did Bill Cosby have for all of his telling jokes and the pudding pop and the Professor Huxtable with the Coogee sweaters? He was in jail for having sex with white women and doping them up with the sleepy drink or whatever that stuff he put in their drink. You R. Kelly, you sang, I Believe I Could Fly. Sung all those wonderful songs. You also sung Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. That's rough. Black people, we be rough. We let R. Kelly get away with Age Ain't Nothing But a Number in like 97. Shame on us. He shouldn't even been able to make all that wonderful music. I hate that I love R. Kelly music. He made some good music, but he loved young girls. The nigga in the interview said, "Do you like teenage women?" R. Kelly said,
How old are we?
R. Kelly said, how old we talking? The nigga said, teenagers. He was like, 19? No, nigga, not 19.
Wow.
How did we let R. Kelly live amongst us? Yeah, this shit's crazy. And in the end, R. Kelly has nothing. R. Kelly made some white people super rich.
Yeah.
But in the end, he's in prison and has nothing. That is there's nothing to gain from selling your soul. Because whatever you are said that you're going to profit, it'll never be enough. And really what happens in the end is it's never a good deal. Everybody understands? With that, I'm gonna close out the class. Again, this is gonna be a ongoing topic. I'm gonna try to formulate it into a lecture of some sort, but sexual deviancy and selling your soul go hand in hand. Selling your soul is giving over control of your body to someone in exchange for riches and money, and someone who's purchasing control over your body for riches or money is going to use your body in a sexual manner. And that is what is at the core of all sexual deviancy. Before it is any sex, it's control. That's what pedophilia is all about. That's what molestation is all about. That's what prostitution is all about. It's about controlling someone's body. Everybody understands? And that is what spiritually fuels all of that. Anyone who's ever suffered with sexual deviancy will tell you that there's an uncontrollable urge to do something sexual, freaky, nasty. And soon as you release, soon as the act is done for a man, soon as you ejaculate, there's something that washes over you that it cannot be described more than shame and disgust. Yeah. That shame and disgust washes over you because that was the point of it. The point was not you needed to have sex so bad. The point was something wanted you to feel that shame and that disgust. And that is why you did what you did. That is why you someone who's, regardless of what type of sexual deviancy it is, if you're a man who buys prostitutes, you have to have that sex with this woman beforehand. You gotta pay. You gotta get the sex. I gotta pay her. And soon as you're finished, the shame and the guilt and the disgust that washes over you, it's like, why did I do that to myself? Why did I just go through all that? Why did I just pay her and bought a room and did this? Or, you may be nasty. You might be on Lamar Street at some gas station in the alley, and you're like, I could have went to jail. Could have got caught. Why would you put yourself in the position to suffer that? Some of you brothers out there, you having sex with some man's woman. You know that man loved that woman, and you know she's a nasty whore. You gonna have sex with her anyway. You having sex with her, and then her husband come home, and you got to jump out the window and fall 20 feet to the ground and run across the yard. And in your mind, I could have died fucking with this man's woman. Why was I doing that? Because something wants you to die, my nigga. There's something inside of you that wants you to get caught and go to jail for prostitution. There's something inside of you that wants to get caught with that man's woman and get your brains blown out. And there's something inside of the pedophile that wants them to die and lose their life and go to prison forever because you're messing around with little children. Sexual deviancy in most cases has little to do with the sex act and everything to do with the demon inside of you needing you to feel that shame and that guilt, because that is what is going to cause you to kill yourself. We'll explore this topic further. We'll have more classes and more breakdowns on it. With that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. Since 1969, the ISUPK has been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? Truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. In the year 2024, there is nothing more important than so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians learning the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on the earth. We had these classes from 6 to 8 p.m. Central, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Brothers and sisters, the address of the school is 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. Again, 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. The calling number is 901-249-0085. Again, 901-249-0085. For all you brothers and sisters out there, you got family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas, get them in contact with the ISUPK. With that, I will be going live tomorrow. I'm going to teach class tomorrow, possibly expounding more on this topic, but we will be